Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. It's been fantastic to see positive price action in crypto, seeing XRP break above 40 cents again recently. But are we getting a little too excited, a little bit too soon? Is it actually more likely that we're going to see a reversal to the downside? Well, some people think so. And I'll even tell you here at the outset of the video my personal opinion. Like, typically, and so I'm just going based off of data. So to me, I'm just looking at this in terms of probabilities. When you have disastrous years in terms of price action, like we saw in 2022, both with the stock market and in crypto, data shows that the year after disastrous years typically isn't disastrous. So my supposition is that we're much more likely to actually see a positive 2023, even if it doesn't go wild, even if it doesn't go bonkers and we don't see new all-time highs this year, because I'm not pretending to know whether or not we do. But if you just look at normally what happens, it's rare to have two back-to-back awful years. It can happen, but it is not common. It is not likely. And so the people that are still screaming, we're going to see like $12,000 Bitcoin or XRP at 20 cents. Well, I'm not going to say that they're crazy. I'm not going to say that they're with 100% confidence they're wrong. I just don't think that's likely. But given that we've spent the past few days being rather joyous about the positive price action, I think it's worth considering the opinions of those who do think that it's more probable we're going to see some action to the downside, just kind of balance things out. But my outlook, I'm more bullish than bearish at this point. Just my personal, unprofessional opinion. We're all entitled to our opinions here. And you guys can let me know what you think in the comment section below. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So I record this, XRP is at 39 cents, Bitcoin 21,156. Look at that market cap for the asset class, folks, right here. It is a hair shy of $1 trillion. Yeah, I love to see it. Bitcoin dominance at 40.78%. And actually, I was curious, so I looked at a couple other competing websites still. I have CoinWatch, like CoinGecko here. They show that the market cap actually is over $1 trillion, and then you've got CoinMarketCap showing that the market cap is 985 billion. So look, all these websites, they pull the data from sources, different sources, and in different ways. So that's why there's a variance, and I'm not aware of them specifically revealing what the secret sauce is in terms of how they come to these tabulations. But either way, we're hovering right around that $1 trillion mark, and I don't mind seeing that one bit. I also wanted to mention that in terms of number of new XRP accounts, this is uncommon. We're seeing close to, just say an average, I think it's fair to say probably about 1,800 new accounts per day. And we saw a spike after the FTX collapse, people wanting to self-custody. That'll make sense. Prior to that, it was more normal for most of last year to see 1,000 to maybe 1,200 new accounts per day. And it was, again, totally anticipated to see a massive increase in self-custody after the FTX scare out. But what kind of surprised me is we didn't go back down to that level. We still haven't. There's nothing else scaring people. In fact, people are barely in fear at the time that I'm recording this video. So I don't know if more people are just jumping in right now. It's just a on-chain data metric, so I wanted to share it with you, and I find it fascinating. It could potentially mean more people are actually just paying attention, because to have that sustained, you're talking a couple months after the collapse of FTX, I don't think it's reasonable to argue that's the reason that we're seeing this, more than 50% or roughly 50% increase compared to what new account levels were before that collapse. So I don't know. And by the way, I mentioned yesterday that as far as the crypto fear and greed index, it was at 52 out of 100, meaning that retail speculators out of fear mode. They weren't greedy, but feeling neutral. And I was like, I don't even know the last time that it wasn't fearful. And here's an article from today noting that it's the last time that the crypto market was not in fear was 9 months ago. It was 9 months of fear and the end of the world, and it's bad, and it's never going to get better. But then it got better. And fair enough today, like right now, it's at 4,500. So like, yeah, people technically back in fear. But that's way higher than the 6 out of 100 that we saw whenever it was September or October of last year. Is that 6 out of 100 jumped up to 52. That's why for me it's silly. It's just like, folks, there's so much data out there. Why be fearful of these markets? Be excited. I just don't get it. I mean, I understand, but it's silly. It really is silly. And then there was, I wanted to highlight this too. Have you guys ever seen this? This is This is a post on a Bitcoin forum from July 25th of 2010. And I wanted to highlight it because it's so interesting, the perspective that people have whenever you're new to a market. I'm late. It's the end of the road. I missed the bus. Did you though? Because I'll tell you here, fine. I missed out in 2010. Did I miss out on the crypto boom? Hell no, I didn't. Even people jumping in 2023 are not missing out on the crypto boom. There's barely any money in crypto compared to where I believe it will be in the future, and almost no humans on the planet in crypto. About 4.2% of humans hold crypto, and way less than 1% of humans on the planet, way less, it's a fraction of a percent of people hold XRP. That is incredible, which means if we are right, as I was mentioning in the video yesterday, it's going to be worth a damn fortune. But again, it's perspective, and I get it. But so this post from July of 2010 by this member of the Bitcoin forum wrote the following, which looks silly in hindsight, but he said, I have only 600 Bitcoins, virtually all generated last week. I missed the bus, frowny face emoji. I'll be buying some soon. Only 600 Bitcoin. Okay, so in July, just to get additional perspective, July of 2010, that 600 Bitcoins that guy had, and he thought he was late to the party, Bitcoin was worth 9 cents. So he probably felt bad that he didn't get in under a penny, right? What kind of fool would, when he could have gotten in under a penny, what kind of fool would buy Bitcoin at 9 cents? Well, I'm obviously being facetious here. So $54 worth of Bitcoin, that's what that was worth, it's 600. Today, at today's price of over $21,000 each, that would be worth $12.6 million. His $54 investment, and it looked like he mined it, he said he generated, so I'm assuming he mined it, but still, you get what I'm saying. That $54 worth of Bitcoin turned into $12.6 million today. And it was worth obviously way more when, more than 3 times that, when Bitcoin is at its all-time high. So that's why, for me, it couldn't be more obvious. This asset class is going to be worth way, way, way more in the future. And so if you're looking at your XRP similar, and like, oh, I missed the boat, XRP, it's hovering around 40 cents. I missed it at, half a penny. Might want to rethink that, because either we're right or we're wrong. And if we are right, then XRP and Bitcoin and pretty much everything is going to be worth way, way, way more in the future. And fine, yeah, most coins I think are going to ultimately go to zero in a mature asset class, but when the asset class matures, but you get the cut of my jib, I think. And then there's also this is from the Bitcoinist Twitter account. They shared this chart and wrote the following. And this data actually comes from Glassnode, they noted here. Number of Bitcoin investors holding more than one Bitcoin rose by 166,000 to reach 981,000 in January 2023, a 20% year-over-year increase. And the part where I'm circling is the most fun and interesting part, I think. You can see the FTX collapse November 2022. What happened is people were freaking out. Well, the whales did their typical whale behavior because they react different than the fearful retail speculators. And look at this. Holdings rocket. You think they're fearful? No, of course not. They understand Bitcoin's not going away. Crypto's not going away. Look, XRP is not going away. But it's just so fast. It's just another thing that you can look at. It's just an on-chain metric, which I find endlessly fascinating. Look at the human behavior. And humans always behave like this. Every market cycle, you see this. Every major dip, you see this. And then there was this from TXMC, who is a analyst, formerly with Glassnode, actually, and he wrote this morning, if a person is not a known trader and they're tweeting about how they doubt this rally has legs, it's a virtual lock. They completely miss the lows and are projecting FOMO as skepticism. And so look, again, I don't pretend to know for sure where market's going, but the people that think we go way lower outside of a wildcard event, I think it's more likely than not they're wrong. Now, but again, this is part of my personal opinion. If we do see a wildcard event, some major global event that we can't even foresee, something like that, okay, fine. Stocks tank, crypto tanks, all right. And also if the FTX contagion spreads. So those are my 2 caveats. Other than that, no, I don't think we're going to see new lows. This is my guess. Could be wrong, but that's my guess. So take a look at this article from Cointelegraph. Bitcoin fails to convince that bottom is in, with $12,000 still likely. Is it though? Bitcoin may be circling its highest levels in months, but few are convinced that the bull market is back. Ahead of a key weekly close, Bitcoin/USD remains near $21,000, data from Cointelegraph, Markets Pro, and TradingView shows, with analysts nervous about the good times ending all too soon. And I'll pause to say, whether my supposition is right or wrong, and we'll find out, I could be wrong, I totally admit that. Either way, it won't matter in the end for me personally, because I'm not going to do anything. I own my crypto. I will hold it if price go down. I will hold it if price goes up, unless or until we see a price that is so substantially higher than where it is now that I finally feel enticed to actually sell and cash out into USD. And I'm waiting for that moment. But either way, for me, I don't get the scares. I'm going to hang out and do my little Moon family sedan stuff and not worry about it. Peace continues. Bitcoin is dividing opinion after its week of brisk gains. Warnings over a potential pullback abound, while others are already commiserating bears ahead of time. Now bears will be caught in the vicious cycle of praying for pullbacks to go lower, not realizing the tides have shifted for a time and we're going higher. Chris Bernisk, former head of crypto at ARK Invest, summarized. Now, even more optimistic takes, such as that of Bernisk, however, do not foresee the upside continuing uninterrupted and a definitive end to Bitcoin's latest bear market. Uploading the classic Wall Street cheat sheet graphic over the weekend, popular commentator Lemon predicted that Bitcoin USD would still fall further. And so that's just the price of Bitcoin United States dollars, just to be clear. Sorry I have to be true to my thoughts. I think we are here, he told Twitter followers, pointing to Bitcoin sentiment and price heading towards macro lows. So you can see the Time Magazine Wall Street cheat sheet. I'm sure everybody on the planet's seen it at this point, saying that we're basically in this phase right here, anger, and we haven't hit depression yet. That's a personal opinion right there of this individual analyst, thinks that we actually will see new lows. And again, even not being a chart guy, because I have no interest in technical analysis, if you just look based on historical data, probability says, no, we're not going to see that happen. That's what probability says. Peace continues. Such a theory ties in with the more dismissive reactions to the latest Bitcoin price rebound, such as those from fellow commentator Il Capo of crypto, who in recent days described it as one of the biggest bull traps I've ever seen. That's a quote. Despite the recent bounce, the bearish scenario hasn't been invalidated, he wrote in part of a follow-up Twitter thread on January 24th. He said, if you have made profits during these days, my sincere congratulations, but remember that it's not a bad time to protect these profits, end quote. Well, look, even some of the analysts that think that we are not going to see a new low acknowledge that in the short term we could see Bitcoin roll back, maybe down to like 18,000s or so. So the idea of that happening, that wouldn't surprise me. It's more like the question of, do we see a new low lower than what we saw last time when Bitcoin hit whatever its low was, 15,500-ish? For fun, I'm guessing no. Anyway, Peace continues. He concluded that a $12,000 macro low on Bitcoin USD was still likely. Okay, well, I'm not going to say that it's impossible, but this is why it's so curious. Like, it's look, we're all entitled to our opinion, and that's why all of you listening out there, I'll be very curious to see what you have to say in the comment section below, but I don't know. Peace continues. Turning to data, Martoon, a contributor to on-chain analytics platform CryptoQuant, warned that the Bitcoin price correction could come sooner rather than later. Funding rates on derivatives platforms, he wrote in a blog post on January 14th, were reaching unsustainable levels. Funding rates for Bitcoin hits a 14 months high, he noted. With positive rates, those longing Bitcoin are effectively paying to do so, indicating a popular belief that prices will continue to rise. This can, in turn, cause major upheaval should price react the opposite to consensus, causing a cascade of liquidations if support is broken. It's clear that traders are betting on higher prices. However, analyzing the funding rates chart suggests that might not be the case, he concluded. Well, we're going to see here, but like I said, look, crypto moves in tandem with stocks, and it's rare, it's possible, but rare to see two back-to-back awful years. The data shows that, when you've seen a massive pullback like we saw in markets in 2022, normally you get a massive burst, or at least not a new low the following. I'm telling you, that's not a question, that's not an opinion, that's fact what I'm sharing with you. So we'll see, folks. You let me know what you think, but either way, look, I'm feeling really good about this. I am so excited every single day for good reason to be here and just hanging out, seeing what's going on, talking about this fun stuff, hanging out with the community. It's a good time. Doesn't make any damn sense to be fearful. There's never been an opportunity in the history of our species like the one afforded to us here today with the advent of the cryptocurrency asset class. Nothing like this has ever happened in the history of our species. That's not hyperbole. That is true. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.